welcome to News 9. I'm Khushi Pal in conversation with the absolutely talented cast of Criminal Justice Adhura Sach, which is the third season in the Criminal Justice franchise. Now, today I have with me Pankaj Tripathi ji, Aditya Gupta, and Shweta Basu. And I'm sure they're all equally thrilled as the audience for the upcoming season. So,
it's Shweta Basu Prasad.
Sorry, ma'am. And Shweta Basu Prasad. And I'm sure, ma'am, you and all of you are equally thrilled for the season, as is the audience. So, pehle, let's just hear from you. How excited are you? Because, this is the feeling. This is where you realize that, oh, it's happening. So, ma'am, Shweta ji.
Well, yeah, it's very exciting. Working on Criminal Justice Season 3, Adhura Sach. A lovely bunch of actors, a great team. It's the second I'm working with Pankaj ji. I think, as I keep saying, he's one of the most graceful co-stars I have. Well-read, somebody I can talk to. उनके साथ books के बारे में बात कर दूँ. मैं अपने सितार के videos दिखाती हूँ. Great co-star, of course. And Aditya also. I think ये शायद आदित्य का पहला major काम है. And I was very surprised to know that first ever. Yeah, and he's a very serious actor. Set पे वो एकदम zone में रहते हैं अपने. He's done a fabulous job, and rest of everyone also. It's the first time playing a lawyer. मैंने कभी prosecutor का role play नहीं किया है. And it's a very interesting subject, very interesting story that we're working with this time. So I'm just looking forward to the audience reaction. I hope सबको अच्छा लगे.
Well, I must tell you all, I've watched the trailer and it was so intriguing, so interesting. And I, for one, can't wait to find out how the story unfolds this time, because we've had two very interesting plots in the past. And there are certainly new elements around this time. So without wasting any more time, and also I understand you all can't reveal much today, but consider this the courtroom scenario, because Sawal Jawab to honge hi. And Shweta ji and Pankaj ji, I'm sure you two have had your fair share of questioning in the show. Being across the courtroom. So this time the tables have turned. तो पंकज जी, माधव मिश्रा के स्टाइल में पूछना चाहूंगी, अगर अनुमति हो तो आगे बढ़ूं?
हाँ जी जी बिल्कुल बढ़िए.
तो पंकज जी, firstly congratulations to you, because you've been essaying this role for 3 seasons now. That's a big thing. And you tell me, how do you think the character of Madhav Mishra has evolved over the seasons? Because पहले हमने देखा how he was driven by money. There were dialogues also which said कि क्या client पैसे वाला है या नहीं. Then eventually he started putting his heart into it. And this time around there were dialogues such as कि जीत ना आपकी होगी ना हमारी, जीत न्याय की होगी. So definitely there has been some sort of a shift in his thinking. तो आप बताइए, do you think he has evolved over the seasons?
Yes, of course. काफी evolved हुए हैं, और जो पहले उनकी पैसे की थोड़े आम आदमी थे, हर किसी में थोड़ी सी ग्रीड और लोभ लालच होते हैं. तो अभी भी है, ऐसा नहीं है कि बिल्कुल नहीं है, बट वो अब अपने भावनाओं को आगे रखता है पैसे के आगे. जब उसको लगता है कि यार ये मामला जेन्युइन है,
राइट,
पैसों को थोड़ा सेकेंडरी कर लेता है. तो बहुत रिलेटेबल है, मॉडर्न युग का आदमी है. कि हम आज के दौर में हम बोले कि पैसे से हमें कोई लेना देना नहीं, तो थोड़ा उचित नहीं लगेगा, क्योंकि इस युग में पैसे की बहुत बड़ी अहमियत है हर किसी के लिए. बट अगेन, पैसे के चक्कर में अपने ईमान को बेच न दे, उसका सौदा न कर ले. तो यस, ऑफ कोर्स माधव मिश्रा का ईमान बड़ा हो गया है पहले के बनिस्बत. तो वो इवॉल्व हुए हैं, और वो देखने को मिलेगा इस बार शो में, कहानी में.
हाँ जी, great. So Shweta, as opposed to the character of Madhav Mishra, which has already been well established for the audience now, Lekha is somebody who's a new face to the audience. So while you were essaying this role, was there ever the burden of past success, because the show has obviously been doing so well? Was there ever any pressure that you felt?
No pressure at all. But I was totally aware that it's a very popular show. In fact, when I told my family, they were very excited. They're a huge fan of Criminal Justice. और मेरे भाई ने बोला, अरे वाह, you're working on Criminal Justice, कौन सा रोल कर रही हो? मैंने बोला, I'm playing the prosecutor. He's like, I already don't like you. You are against Madhav Mishra. I'm like, great. This is a good start. so I was very aware that it's a very popular show, and but no pressure as such, because मेरे लिए तो ये स्क्रिप्ट है, मुझे तो ये 8 एपिसोड्स मिले हैं, और उसका I mean, of course, character continuity है माधव मिश्रा के, और जितने और 2-4 कैरेक्टर्स है जो पहले सीजन से आ रहे हैं, they've had a character arc that's continuing. But story or case is for this season, so मेरे लिए वो important था. And I worked on that. और जैसे मैं अपने हर projects के साथ करती हूँ, मैं back story लिखती हूँ कि ये किरदार कहाँ पैदा हुई थी, कहाँ बड़ी हुई थी, कैसे दोस्त थे, क्या पसंद क्या नापसंद है. So character को जानना important है. So I did that, just like anything, just like any other projects. That was my prep. Baki, Pankaj ji is a fabulous co-star. His energy was enough to keep me going on set. और सर मुझे खिचड़ी भी बेचते थे लंच टाइम पे, तो मैं बहुत एनर्जाइज हो जाती थी. उसके बाद मेरे ऐसे टेक्स्ट जाते थे.
कि आप खुद बनाते थे?
हाँ मैं सेट पे
अरे वाह. Okay. Well, Aditya, same thing for you. And also, given that, you were joining the cast alongside some really senior actors and you were playing a character which is really integral to the story. So, were you at any point intimidated, or was this experience really good for you? Was it intimidating? Was there any pressure?
Intimidation initially, when you read the cast list, it is there. I'm not going to lie about that. Again, when you have such experienced actors, such established actors, so there's always a bit of a question ki kya ho sakta hai, kya nahi hoga. But once you read the script, and this is what in my case, once I read the script and I had it, so on set जब हमने shooting शुरू की, action बोलने के बाद से I don't think so वो झिझक या वो थोड़ा सा भी pressure feel हुआ मुझे, because again I feel because of the energy as well जो कि को एक्टर्स दे रहे थे. स्पेशली मेरा जो पहला फर्स्ट एवर सीन था, जो फर्स्ट एवर शॉट था, वो पंकज सर के साथ ही था. तो जब उसकी रीडिंग हो रही थी टेबल रीड पे भी, सो उस वक्त भी ऐसा फील हो रहा था कि आई डोंट नो क्या होगा, क्या हो सकता है. बट द मोमेंट ही एंटर्स, ही जस्ट क्रिएट्स डिफरेंट atmosphere and he has a different aura, so he just gives you the energy and he's very as Shweta ma'am also said that he's very well read, so वो काफी ज्यादा चीजें आपको बताते भी हैं while you are working. काफी नुस्खे और टिप्स देते हैं कि ये करना चाहिए, और I think that really worked for me as well. So thank you so much sir, आपकी वजह से बहुत ही अच्छा स्टार्ट मिला. और I think को एक्टर्स अगर इतने अच्छे और इतने established हो तो आपका I think 50% काम वही हो जाता. And
well, that's really good to know. Pankaj ji, itni aapki taarif ho rahi hai, so I'm going to come back to you also, because you were talking about Mukul's character which has been essayed by Aditya. So this brings me to the point कि इस show में there's a different twist, right? There's a different scenario happening. जैसे past में माधव मिश्रा के clients were all adults, but this time around you're dealing with a child. It's a totally different dynamic shift for Madhav Mishra. So Madhav Mishra के मन में क्या चल रहा था when he was working on this case? Could you say something on that?
माधव को यही चल रहा था कि यार कैसे कैसे इन बच्चों को हैंडल करूंगा, कैसे इससे बात निकलवाऊंगा. तो यही चल रहा था, क्योंकि आप बड़े लोगों के कई चीजें हैं, चालाकी भी इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं. बच्चों से अगर एक जुवेनाइल का मामला हो तो उससे कितना दबाव बनाना है, कितना टेक्निक लगाना है, कैसे बात निकलवाना है, तो ये एक इंटरेस्टिंग टास्क होता है कैरेक्टर के लिए, नॉट हमारे लिए. तो और इसमें राइटर का बड़ा योगदान है. उन्होंने इतने अच्छे तरीके से लिखा था कि घुमा फिरा के, जितना वकालत और कोर्टरूम का ड्रामा सिंपल दिखता है उतना सिंपल होता नहीं है, क्योंकि बहुत दाव पेच है कि उसके सामने से उसको गुजार दो जी, इसके सामने से इसके माँ को गुजार दो, एक बार क्रॉस हो जाएगी तो शायद इमोशनल होकर कुछ बोल दे. तो इतने सब दाव पेच चलते हैं, हम आम लोगों के और आम जिंदगी में समझ के परे होते हैं. So yes, well written स्क्रिप्ट थी, तो मुझे बहुत ज्यादा एफर्ट लगाने की जरूरत पड़ी नहीं, बस लाइनें याद करके कर लेता था.
अच्छा जी. Speaking of dynamics, coming to you, Shweta, Madhav Mishra has been surrounded by some supportive women in the past. For example, the character of Nikhat Hussain, who was his professional aide. She brought a lot of sensitivity to the character and to the case which was being handled the last time. And this time we have Lekha, who comes off as this really powerful, really headstrong character, one who's going against Madhav Mishra. So what was working in that dynamic like for you with Pankaj ji and in general for your character?
Well, I mean, it's a character, and that's how the writers perceived it. That's how the creative team perceived it. And they saw her as this well-bred South Bombay, very groomed, polished English, bahar se padh ke aayi hai. So for her, Madhav Mishra is like, inko to main aise khatam kar dungi. That was who Lekha is. she's and because सारे witness सारे सबूत मुकुल के खिलाफ है, so Lekha has a really strong case, and but that's the fun. I think मजा तब आता है जब एकदम neck to neck competition ho. So I think that's like Sir said, the arcs of the story, the entire season is that it's going neck to neck right till the end. So that's very interesting. And yeah, she's very confident, very bold, and but very sensitive also. वो insensitive लड़की नहीं है, because like she's dealing with the case itself is so sensitive that वो sensitivity आप देखते हैं बीच बीच में, उसका softness लेखा का आप देखते हो, that she does feel bad for what's happened and everything, but वो उस चीज को कभी emotion को overwhelm नहीं होने देती अपने काम पे. So when she's talking to Mukul, she's using the right technical terms, she's using this right, क्या बोलते हैं, जो correct tactics हैं, emotional tactics हो या correct legal terms हो, but अगर वो emotionally ये भी कर रही है कि हाँ ये अंडर एज है या juvenile case है जो भी है, but she's not, वो उसको कभी interfere नहीं करता उसके काम के साथ, so she's always very headstrong. She's like completely she knows she's winning the case. So
it's easy for you to maintain that balance as a character, because of course at points there's this vulnerability to it, and then the other side you have to really be strong about it because you're fighting against him.
Yeah, also Lekha has, I mean, जब आप शो देखेंगे आपको पता चलेगा कि वो उसका internal conflict भी काफी है, जो उसका background है, जहाँ से वो आ रही है, her dynamics, her interpersonal relationship with her family, तो उसका वो भी आपको काफी देखने को मिलेगा. I'll not spoil it for you now. But so you'll see why she is the way she is. वो ऐसी क्यों है? Why is her need to be this bold, no nonsense person? So yeah.
And moving on to you, Aditya. Since you're playing a child convict in the series, I want to know, was this role mentally or emotionally challenging for you? Because you were probably exposed to the ugly side of a juvenile home care, because we saw how bad it got in the last season. So what was it like for you? Did it have any impact?
Once I finished reading all the episodes, one thing that really stuck with me was this character is very emotionally in a very isolated situation.
Right.
So that is something which I felt is going to be really challenging to portray, because as Shweta also said that I was always in the zone. So there was a reason for me being always in the zone, because it's very difficult for me to actually initially to actually switch on and off like that, because throughout the show you will see that he's very the character is someone who's really alone in terms of that. He doesn't really have anyone who he can trust. So that is something that is very difficult to portray. So it's very emotionally challenging, yes. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's the job of an actor to actually portray such conflicting things on screen. And I'm really excited to people to see this, and I want to know how people interpret and have their views on Mukul, because this is one of the characters that came very close to me, because the moment I read the first ever lines of Mukul, I just knew that who this person is. So I think it's a very emotional for me as an Aditya as well to actually portray Mukul and convey his story. So yeah.
Well, one last question for you, Pankaj ji. Contrary to what audience perceive lawyers as aggressive and assertive, always fighting and arguing in the court, Madhav Mishra is rather very calm, composed, and very simple. So do you think the portrayal of Madhav Mishra has anything to do with the real life persona of Pankaj Tripathi? Sir, आप म्यूट पे.
हाँ जी, माफी चाहता हूँ. बिल्कुल बिल्कुल, क्योंकि सीजन 1 में बना था, जब स्क्रिप्ट शुरू हुआ था, तो करते क्या है ना कि ये मैं अपने निजी जिंदगी के बहुत करीब पाता हूँ माधव मिश्रा को. जैसे सीजन 1 का माधव मिश्रा था, वो आज से 15 साल पहले के पंकज त्रिपाठी एक्टर थे.
Okay.
काम की खोज में मुंबई आए हैं, कहीं सबर्ब में रहते हैं और लगे हुए हैं जुगाड़ में कि यार किधर से एंट्री मिल जाए, यहाँ ऑडिशन वहाँ ऑडिशन. तो वैसे माधव मिश्रा एक ऐसा व्यक्ति था जिसको भीड़ में नोटिस करना मुश्किल था। और टिल डेट 3rd सीजन में भी माधव मिश्रा का अपना कोई ऑरा नहीं है कि वो कोर्ट में आए तो लोग खड़े हो जाएं, नोटिस करें। वो नोटिसेबल आदमी है कि वो भीड़ में निकल जाए तो आपको पता ना चले कौन है। तो वो करते करते इसके न्यूआंसेज और इसके ठहराव समहाउ कहीं ना कहीं मेरे मेरे अपने जो है मिलते गए। और क्योंकि ये पावरफुल नहीं है माधव मिश्रा, ये सॉफ्ट स्पोकन है, सटायरिकल है। मैं पावरफुल व्यक्ति नहीं हूँ, सॉफ्ट स्पोकन हूँ। माधव में एक सेंसिबिलिटी है, सर्टेन काइंड ऑफ। अपनी बीवी के भले मस्ती करते रहता है लेकिन आदर भी करता है। तो कहीं ना कहीं मेरे व्यक्तित्व के कुछ पहलू हैं माधव में। यस, आई एग्री।
No wonder you bring such life to that character. And coming to the last question, which is open to the entire cast to answer, whoever wishes to. Of late, we have seen a lot of OTT content, and even in films and shows in general, which are, directed towards courtroom drama. This genre has picked up a lot of pace. So, like, be it Your Honor, be it Guilty Mind. So, how does criminal justice sets itself apart from all of these shows?
क्योंकि हॉटस्टार का पहला ओरिजिनल सीरीज यही था, कोर्टरूम ड्रामा। मतलब हॉटस्टार के सीरीज में पहला ये था, इसी से कंटेंट वाला पार्ट शुरू हुआ था, अपार्ट फ्रॉम स्पोर्ट्स। तो जो पहला है वो तो हमेशा अच्छा ही रहेगा।
Firsts are always special anyway.
Also, I feel because the courtroom drama that this franchise has showcased throughout all 3 seasons is a very nice mix of humor as well as seriousness, which I don't really have seen a lot happening. Also because that is what Pankaj sir brings to the table, the humor. So I mean that's why it's so special. But I think this is something that really makes it completely different from all the other courtroom dramas, and also what's us.
Right. Shweta ma'am, would you like to add anything?
Well, I think multiple shows या films एक ही subject पे या एक courtroom drama होने से कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. I think होना भी चाहिए. I think there are so many उसके कितने पहलू हो सकते हैं, बहुत सारे पर्सपेक्टिव हो सकते हैं एक ही चीज के, और हर प्रोजेक्ट अपने आप में यूनिक होता है. इट हैज इट्स ओन जर्नी, ओन फेट. व्हाट आई फील अबाउट क्रिमिनल जस्टिस, राइट, आदित्य सेड दैट इट हैज द यूएसपीज माधव मिश्रा, बिकॉज वो जिस तरीके से सेंसिबली सिंपल वे में, मतलब कोई भी ऑडियंस देखेगा, एक लेमन को भी समझ में आए टर्म्स, ही इज नॉट फाइटिंग इट, ही इज रीजनिंग इट. और वो आपको आता है जब आपका लाइफ का एक्सपीरियंस हो, आपकी ऑब्जर्वेशन स्किल्स वैसे हो. तो एज एन ऑडियंस, जब आप चाहे आप कैब चलाते हो, या आप रेस्टोरेंट में खाना बनाते हो, या आप 9 to 5 जॉब कर रहे हो, या आप सीईओ हो किसी कंपनी के, आप जब माधव मिश्रा को देखते हो किसी केस को सॉल्व करने में, आपको लगता है ये बंदा लॉजिकल है. और ये लाइफ के जो एक्सपीरियंसेस हैं, जो उसने लाइफ में ऑब्जर्व किया है, उसकी एप्लीकेशन कर रहा है. आई थिंक दैट्स द बिगेस्ट यूएसपी ऑफ क्रिमिनल जस्टिस. And the cases it's been picking, all 3 cases have been so unique.
Yeah, definitely.
And all the cases are not just cases, but unke piche, unki backstories, un characters ki interpersonal relationship, why a crime could be committed, and the different perspectives on that, the opposition. So I think it's a very wholesome experience in my opinion.
Well, thank you so much to the entire cast. It was an absolute delight talking to all of you. And here's looking forward to the show's release, and all the best to all of you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Kushi.